There's a lot more buyers out there than there are sellers right now.
This is unbelievable. People are struggling to buy a house, and I've never seen that before, where somebody cannot get their hands on a property.
We were one of 26 offers.
We've gone so far away from protecting the homeowner, and putting the homeowner's values first.
With the lowest inventory of homes in years across the Twin Cities, houses are flying off the market and above asking price. What's contributing to the tighter housing market in the metro, and how long will it last? I'm Rana Kamal. This is Our Issues, Twin Cities.
It was nice to know that we were going to finally get to be in our own home here.
They're finally settling in.
It was a little bit stressful.
For Lea and her husband, being a buyer in the metro was a challenge.
One of the first houses we found that we actually really liked, we were one of 26 offers. And in the end, after the home closed and everything, we found out that it sold for $40,000 over the asking price. And in the end, it was a 2-bedroom house with a single-car garage.
The Twin Cities housing market is hot right now. Homes are going off the market fast and with a higher price tag.
It's a great time to be a seller.
Herb Tousley is the director of the University of St. Thomas's real estate program. What is contributing to the tighter Twin Cities market?
There's a lot more buyers out there than there are sellers right now. Interest rates are still relatively low. The perception is the economy and the job market is doing better, so people are feeling more secure, about their job situations, and so there's a lot of people out there that are chasing a few homes.
Buyers are really looking for a quality finish. They want something that is move-in ready, that needs zero work, that they can put a mortgage on it at low interest rates.
Ryan Fischer, a Twin Cities realtor, says more first-time home buyers and young families are going after neighborhoods in cities like Richfield because of their proximity to downtown and urban amenities.
It's close to a lot of corporations and jobs around the Twin Cities, and also the price point. Price point's still reasonable. People can have an affordable home but still be accessible to the Twin Cities and their jobs.
Lea and her husband wanted to live close to work and the city. Richfield was the perfect fit. What attracted you to Richfield?
As we started looking at homes, we found that we actually really liked the neighborhoods, and we liked the central location too. It's close to downtown, but not in downtown. And then there's a lot of stores and stuff available.
Along with Richfield, some of the most demanded areas are the first ring suburbs, like Edina, St. Louis Park, Plymouth, and Woodbury. Parts of Minneapolis and St. Paul are also gaining more and more popularity.
There's a lot of people, especially the younger people, the quote-unquote millennials, that want to have that more urban lifestyle, and so you're seeing them move into the the core cities. You're in the North Loop and the East Bank in Minneapolis, and even downtown St. Paul. There's a lot of people moving downtown St. Paul, and they like that experience where they can walk to the grocery market, and you don't have to get into a car to do anything.
Although interest rates are low, so is inventory. Last time this year, there were 13,000 homes on the market. This year, only 10,000. Have you ever seen inventory so low?
We've got good data that goes back to 2003, 2004, and this is the lowest that I've ever seen it since then.
Before the market crashed almost a decade ago, there were more than 20,000 homes for sale at any given time. With the trickling number of homes on the market across the metro today, buyers are facing obstacles, often being outbid by other buyers. People who are looking for homes right now, how is this affecting them?
It really puts more pressure on them to be ready to buy. I mean, if you're serious and you're going to go out and want to buy a home, get something under contract, you really have to have all your ducks lined up. I mean, you have to have your financing pre-approved, have everything, all set up. So if you see something that you like, I mean, you can make a decision on it right away, because, it's not like, well, I'll come back in a couple more days after I think about it, because, it's likely the next people that walk through the door after you are going to buy it. So, I mean, you really have to be prepared to make a pretty quick decision, and it's a big investment, and so for a lot of people that's different than maybe what they had the last time they were looking for a home.
In a treacherous buyer's market, Lea knew they had to be prepared when the right home came along.
So when you found this home with such low inventory around the Twin Cities, did you quickly jump on it?
We did. So my husband actually came, he was looking at a house down the block that actually had pictures online on his lunch break with our real estate agent. And this one happened to pop up, didn't have pictures yet, so they just kind of darted over. She contacted the seller's agent on this home to make sure that it was okay that we came in, and they were fine with that. And he looked at it and he immediately texted me at work and was like, you need to come see this house, and we need to put an offer on it. So I came when I got off work that night, we looked through it for a while and decided we definitely needed to make an offer, and we put an offer in that evening.
Nowadays, that's the typical tale of home buyers in the Twin Cities.
Have you witnessed a housing market like this in the Twin Cities?
I definitely have not. This is unbelievable. I mean, people are struggling to buy a house, and I've never seen that before, where somebody cannot get their hands on a property. And in this situation, clients are putting 5, 6, 10 offers on different properties and still coming up empty. And it's really difficult when you've got people putting cash offers in. The people that are financing are up against some challenges. So you've got to get really creative with your offers. And again, it comes down to working with a professional that can help guide you through that.
When we return, an unexpected neighborhood that has quickly become one of the most demanded for buyers. Just a drive outside of downtown Minneapolis, near the North Loop, is now the most demanded neighborhood in the metro.
Really affordable prices. It also has some of the best houses that are available in the city.
Today, North Minneapolis is the hottest housing market in the Twin Cities.
You can get a lot more for your money, but you can also get a really amazing house in North Minneapolis. North Minneapolis is a huge area, and there are so many beautiful architectural features to certain neighborhoods, from the great new construction to the really historic neighborhoods of North.
Emily Green, who specializes in North Minneapolis real estate, says buyers are desperately searching for affordable homes.
Well, this is a really beautiful home, and it was built in 1956.
And that's exactly what they're finding in the North Side.
This is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house that's in the low 200s.
The average price of a home in the North Side is in the mid to low $200,000 range, depending on the neighborhood. New construction can cost a buyer around $300,000 to $400,000.
Still some deals to be found.
Has that gone up a lot over time?
It has gone up, and that's mostly because of the lack of foreclosures. The foreclosures just drag they drag everything down.
In 2008, the housing market across the country crashed, forcing many homes into foreclosure. Historically, the housing market in the North Side has always been one of the most unstable, with the highest rate of foreclosures in the city. Predatory lending and sublime loans during a declining economy led to many families being displaced after losing their homes.
We've gone so far away from protecting the homeowner, and putting the homeowner's values first. Everybody's looking for a dollar and a dime, and that's, we have to get back to the basics of it.
When Melissa turned 26, she became a proud owner in her community of North Minneapolis.
It's exciting just to be a homeowner in general, and to know that you have the capabilities of doing what you want, as well as showing your children, this is your home.
But the joys of owning her very first home quickly became a nightmare. For years, she has been what she calls upside down, where her mortgage is underwater.
My home values are completely in shambles, and it doesn't help that, again, investors just come in and take over the property and slap some renters in. So we have a combination of upside downness of my own loans and my own position in property and value. And then we have where investors are coming in, inviting people who are not from the north side to come in and rent. And there's a lot of slumlords involved in that and things of that nature. And it brings a lot of people who really, truly do not have the heart for the north side.
The North Side is one of the most impoverished, crime-ridden neighborhoods in Minneapolis, affecting the economy in every way possible.
It's people like you, a mother of 2 little girls, who are most affected by this.
For sure. My daughters cannot go outside and play. I've been in my house for almost 11 years and they don't go outside and play. You don't know what happens. If they do go, there's a certain length that we will allow. Usually when we grew up, we were able to go outside and play till the street lights come on. It doesn't work like that anymore.
And because of the long list of problems riding over the North Side for years, construction was stalled. New homes being built were far and few in between. But today, with nearly 400 open lots, the housing market in North Minneapolis looks very different. Investors and developers have been scouting north, what many dub as a gold mine, rebounding the market. The city of Minneapolis recently introduced the Build, Buy, Rehab program to help homeowners purchase, build, or rehab city-owned vacant lots or buildings, offering developers up to $75,000 and individuals up to $25,000 to build a new home on a north side empty lot.
You cannot sell a brand new home in a distressed neighborhood such as North Minneapolis, any of the blocks, for $200,000. And the neighbor across the street's house is worth $115,000. The one up the block is worth $80,000, $60,000. We need to focus on the current homeowners right now and rehabbing those particular homes, or offering the help to bring those values up for the current homes, for current homeowners, before we slap in a $200,000 home in a brand new home in a distressed neighborhood.
So now, Melissa is working to maintain Northside homeowners who are being driven out by inflated prices.
What are you doing to create change in order to maintain the Northside home ownership?
I would like to see, that they're just honest about it and they put the homeowners first, because right now it seems like the investor is the priority. And with the city of Minneapolis being less than a mile away, City Hall, they need to, hear from current homeowners that we're living this nightmare right now, where we're not capable of doing things as another homeowner would do, and we're in a situation where we're forced to, as our only option, is to foreclose. And we don't want to do that. We've wasted time, energy, money. Our kids are growing up in these homes and going to schools in these neighborhoods. We want to be able to stabilize the neighborhood and stay here in the neighborhood and bring back older people that may have lost their homes once before in North Minneapolis.
Although many cracks remain following the fallout of the recession and the 2011 tornado that ripped through the community, a lot has changed on the north side and recovery has been evident.
How has the recovery been one of the most prosperous in the metro?
North has definitely had a lot of investment. It has had incredible amounts of investment from the foreclosure crisis, and it has had a lot of investment from the tornado that came in. And so when you look at what that investment comes out to be, it's into businesses, it's into restoring the housing stock, it's into supplementing other investments in amenities and commercial offerings to people here. It's really had quite a few people focusing on it, people and organizations focusing on it to make sure that it succeeds, and it really is a beautiful area.
It's very community-based. It's rich with a lot of values, but we just need to get back to the basics. And reintroducing ourselves to each other, to our neighbors, and just growing together. as a neighborhood and not feeling so segregated and confined within your home.
Up next on Our Issues Twin Cities, the forecast of the Metro's housing market in the next year. For the last decade, renovations became the most sought-out homes.
New appliances, we've got LG appliances in here, new cabinetry, single panel doors on everything.
Older, dated homes are flipped into modern, stylish renovations.
Houses like this, when this is done, will sell in 2 days, probably 20 grand above what market value is for the house or what it was half a year ago. And it'll be a 5 to 10 offer situation.
And in a current hot housing market, buyers have to be ready to seal the deal faster than ever. What suggestions do you have for those looking to buy a home in the Twin Cities?
They should talk to their real estate professional and make sure that they have a good strategy to buy their next house. Sometimes the best option for an individual is to buy another home first. Make sure that they find their next step, make sure that they're able to find a home that they love and procure that, make sure that an offer is accepted on it, and then put their house on the market because it will sell so fast. As long as they aren't unrealistic with what they're asking for on an asking price.
You don't think that's a risk to buy a home first and then sell second?
There's always a risk involved. So you've got to understand that risk, and you really need to make sure that you're talking to an experienced real estate agent to make sure that they can educate you on that risk. And if you don't understand the risk, make sure that you ask more questions. The other option is to sell your house and make sure that you're ready to move quickly into another home, and make sure that you're looking at a price point that you can afford to move into and put a strong offer on a new home. And that way you won't lose it to one of the other 5, 10 other offers.
Lea learned quickly how fast they had to jump to buy their home in Richfield.
I would highly suggest that you have a really good real estate agent. We had a great agent. She fought for us. She was there with us. She knew if the house was the right fit for us or not. She was very honest about things. She wasn't just trying to sell us a house and get us into a house so she could make her commission. She was actually looking for a home with us that fit us and would be a good investment to make. So I think having a good real estate agent is key. And then knowing your budget, knowing what you can spend, and knowing what you can offer, because you're likely going to have to make an offer that's over the asking price. So know what your price range is and stick in there, but realize that you are likely going to have to offer more.
And now, as Lea and her husband settle in their new home, they are happy the mess is over.
You guys have been living in your home for 2 weeks now. Was the journey worth it to get here?
Of course, yeah. We're excited. We're excited to be in a new city. Excited to have a little bit of a new start to our life. And it's nice to be in our own home.
Although it seems like we're inching closer to reliving the housing crash almost a decade ago, experts believe the current hot market will simmer down.
I think right now things are just kind of plateauing a little bit, where prices aren't skyrocketing quite as much as they did over the last 365 days. But I definitely think that with the interest rates being low, we're going to be in some competition for a while.
Competition is heavy in North Minneapolis, the hottest place to live in the Twin Cities, thanks to affordable housing and close proximity to downtown.
Do you expect the demand in the north side to continue increasing in the future?
I expect this market that we're in, that's considered a seller's market, where it's pretty easy to sell and there's a lot of competition to buy. I expect this to continue for a couple years and maybe not cool off completely, but maybe just plateau into a normal market like we haven't had in a long time.
What's attracting buyers to the north side?
I would say it's a lot of investors. It's cheap. The land is cheap. The property values are cheap. So they're looking at it as an investment for themselves, whether it's a duplex that one of the owner lives on one side, or it's an investment of sorts where they're renting it out to be able to take the same money of the rent money and pay on their own mortgage that they live in Bloomington or Brooklyn Park or wherever. I mean, the north side, we have great value here.
As inventory remains low across the metro and homes continue to fly off the market above asking price, what's the next year look like for the housing market?
You know, as long as the economy stays the way it is and, you know, there aren't any just totally unforeseen things that happen, I know that home builders are, you know, working as hard as they can to, you know, build homes that are in that price range, and, you know, that's certainly going to help some, will add to the supply. But, you know, I see this, you know, continuing on into, you know, and probably through 2018, that there's just not going to be as many homes on the market as there has been. And I think the problem, you know, the issue will start to correct itself, you know, as we go through 2018. But, you know, I think we're going to see, again, way more buyers than sellers, and we're going to see some, you know, price gains again in the 5% area.
I think we're going to see prices steadily inclining over the next couple of years, and after that, kind of bets are off. Just don't know. It's just things have been changing so much over the last couple of years that it's really hard to predict, especially with interest rates. If those were to spike and go really high, that's going to change everybody's buying habits. But right now, with the interest rates staying low, and they've been low for a long time, I think we're just going to see a steady incline over time of home values. And I think people are going to be really happy with the homes they're buying because they're going to see some appreciation, some accurate or some steady appreciation of their properties that they can rely on.
Thank you for joining me this week on Our Issues Twin Cities. I'm Rana Kamal. See you next time. Promotional consideration provided by Realtor Ryan Fischer.